Alright, what is up YouTube? HPJ here, and I'm coming to you guys today with the Fortune Fairy video, Fortune Fairy deck profile. And I'm really excited about the Fortune Fairies because they are an extension of the Fortune Ladies. This is pretty much just a very big fun deck that I tried to work around with because it's very spellcaster friendly. And that's one thing about the archetype, is how friendly it is with spellcasters, how easy it is with draw power, how easily you can set up a lot of things because of draw power. So take advantage of it as you possibly can. And I am really excited about this deck profile. So without further ado, let's get into it. So I'll start off with my monster lineup. I am running 3 copies of Fortune Fairy Hikari, 3 copies of Fortune Fairy In, 3 copies of Fortune Fairy Who, and then move over, I'm running 2 copies each of Fortune Fairy Sweet, Fortune Fairy Anne, and Fortune Fairy Chi. So that's pretty much it for the Fortune Fairies. For the rest of the spellcasters that I'm running, I'm running 3 copies of Dark Magician of Chaos and 3 copies of Effect Veiler. And that's pretty much it for the monsters. For the spells, I am running 2 copies each of Miracle Stone. I say Magical Stone. 2 copies of Unacceptable Results, and 2 copies of Lucky Loan. Actually, let me get these over so you guys can see them. There we go. So that's all the Fortune Fairy spells. Then for the rest of the spells in the deck, I am running 3 copies of Spellbook of Knowledge, 3 copies of Wonder Wand, 2 copies of Magical Dimension, 2 copies of Secret Village of the Spellcaster, and 1 copy each of Terraforming, Upside Goblin, and Reikeki. So that's pretty much it for the main deck. I am running no trap cards in the main deck. You can easily sign them in, or just play Royal Decree. Alright, for the rest of the deck profile, let's go on to the extra deck. I'm rocking 2 copies of Daybreaker, the Shining Magical Warrior. 1 copy each, of course, of the Nightmare Engine of Cerberus and Phoenix. I'm running 1 Salamangreat Almirage, 1 Saryuja Skull Dread, 1 Barrel Sword Dragon, 1 Archetype Magician, 1 Evil Sword Exciton Knight, 1 Abyss Dweller, oops, sorry about that, 1 Gaga Cowboy, 1 Downerd Magician, 1 Slacker Magician, 1 Kigachi Gentetsu, and 1 Levier the Sea Dragon. So that's pretty much it for the extra deck. So let's go over what's going on in the main deck itself. I'm running 3 copies of Fortune Fairy Hikari. She is pretty much a setup monster for herself. When this card is drawn into, such a summon it from your hand, then you can select 1 other spellcaster type monster you control to send to the graveyard to special summon 1. No, target 1 monster you control, and it's send it to the graveyard to special summon a level 1 spellcaster type monster from your deck. And you'll use each effect of Fortune Fairy Hikari once a turn. So the thing with Fortune Fairy Hikari, she's pretty much one of your big setup cards. She'll work really well, of course, in Fortune Ladies because of her effect. And it's really just a great additional monster. Mainly running her at 3 because she is like the core engine, for say, and she just gets rid of a lot of here and there floats. But that is Fortune Fairy Hikari. All the Fortune Fairies have the ability that if they're drawn into, you can just summon it from your hand. So we'll just exclude that effect and go on to the regular effect. I'm running 3 copies of Fortune Fairy Een. Een is pretty much this deck's somewhat of a Night Beam. She targets a set face down card in when she sets a summon and destroys it. So a lot of counter traps and stuff she can easily hit. A lot of quick play spells. Because we're focusing on Secret Village as a field spell, she can take advantage of that as well. Next is I'm running 3 copies of Fortune Fairies. Hugh has the ability that when she starts to summon, she can target a banished spellcaster and add it to your hand. This works actually corresponding with Demock. It works well with Sui, and it works well with Fortune Fairy and their abilities. So it's a must-have of 3 because of all the banishing going on. I move over, of course, to Fortune Fairy Sui. Sui's ability is that when she is successful summon, you can target any face-up card on the field and banish it to your next standby phase. This does help with a lot of, the spellcaster setup, if anything. It's actually a really useful monster, but I'm only running 2 at the moment because I don't want to, it's a weird algorithm with these Fortune Fairies. I'm not running any generic heavy enough spellcasters like that, and this is unfortunately where I can benefit from Fortunately Light's effect triggering off of me. So yeah, that is just main reason why I cut it down from 3 to 2. I'm running 2 Fortune Fairy Anne. So Anne's ability is that when she summons something, she takes a spellcaster type monster and she sends it. She banishes it from the deck. This is just more so of a deck thin out because you can easily get them back with Hugh and have a lot of plays and setups with Hugh. So that is Anne, and then we have Chi. That Chi, when she special summon, both players draw a card. So a little bit of a little draw engine there. For the rest of the spellcasters, I'm running 3 copies of Dark Magician of Chaos. So Demock, in abbreviation, is pretty much here because Demock, when he leaves the field, he will banish himself. Fortune Fairy Hugh can add him to your hand. He's one of the higher level spellcaster type monsters that I thought would fit with this deck because of his effect that during the end phase you can add a spell card in your graveyard back to your hand when this card is no longer special summon that turn. And I do enjoy the fact that having someone so easily accessible because of the fact that he is a spellcaster, he is a high level spellcaster, and we don't have the witchcraft golem yet. So when she comes out, she will be easily replaceable for golem will be easily replaceable with Demock. And I think Demock is not too bad of a monster. I love having one of Invasion of Chaos's prime chaos monsters doing some damage. He's no BLS, he's no CED. He's definitely comparison a little better than Chaos Sorcerer, but that special summon is more why some Sorcerer would be a lot prevalent here too. But I just wanted to go for someone I can easily go Magical Dimension, summon Magician of Black Chaos, take out a monster in phase, add it back a spell or trap in my graveyard. No, add a spell card back in my graveyard, and then he can take a monster when he destroys a monster in battle. He'll banish that monster instead of it going to the graveyard. So I don't have to deal with that. So that is the Demox, and then my hand trap of choice is Effect Veiler. And that's primarily because I just wanted someone to fit around, of course, with the whole spellcaster theme. But you can put any hand trap in here, and you can run any extra deck support you want to help flow the deck. If that's the way you wanted to go. I just decided to go for Effect Veiler because she can negate monster effects and then she's just an easy float. So let's talk about the spell cards that fit with the Fortune Fairies. We have Magical Stone, we have Unacceptable Result, and we have Lucky Loan. So Lucky Loan's effect is if you can target one Fortune Fairy monster you control. Then special summon from your hand or deck a monster whose original level is 1 less than the monster that you targeted until your next turn after this card's effect resolves. Monsters you normally or special summon have to be spellcasters. So it's just pretty much a way to get a lot of the other Fortune Fairies onto the board without having to do so much. Speaking of that, we have Unacceptable Gift that helps speed up that process. Well, I really regret not getting another one of each of those spells because these are actually really good spells to speed up the Archetype. But if I did, I'd have to cut them eventually because I wanted to cut for room and then have that accessibility. but I figured having both of these two would be great. Because they both help you special summon, they both can help you get specific cards onto the board if needed, and it's just an easy float about. Now let's talk about Miracle Stone. So while this card is on the field, you can only control one at a time. The other effect is all spellcaster monsters gain 500 attack and defense for each Fortune Fairy on the field with a different name. Because the Fortune Fairies don't have any attack themselves or defenses, this is a great boost for them. And not to mention all your other spellcasters in the deck. Then on top of that, once a turn, if your Fortune Fairy is involved in battle, no, the attack is declared in your Fortune Fairy is involved in battle, you draw cards. You can draw into even more of them. They trigger their effects, such as summoning and put them onto the board. I know this is probably one of the cards I think should be ran at 3, but it is once per turn. So, excuse me. No. Yeah, it's once per turn, but you only control one Miracle Stone at a time, so it can't create infinite draws or infinite loops. I was also thinking of stuff like Supply Squad, because of its draw power. Like, okay, I'll lose my Fortune Fairy, but I get to draw a card off of it. And oh look, here's another Fortune Fairy. I can sit on someone like Chi, and then Chi with Magical Stone and all the crazy other shenanigans that probably happen can be boosted up. But it's very rare, but very situational. But the deck itself has a lot of situations in and out. Alright, I'm going to move on from the Fortune Fairy spells. We're going to move on to all the regular generic spells. We have Spellbook's Knowledge, send a spellcaster or a spellcaster in your field, or a spellbook spell card face up on your field or in your hand. That's in the grade to draw 2 cards. It's pretty much just draw power because everybody in this deck is a spellcaster. And speaking of spellcaster support, we have Wonder Wand. Gives that additional 500 attack to one of my spellcasters. Not to mention, I can send it in a spellcaster grade to draw more cards. And then that just helps replenish the hand. It helps create a new setup. And if I draw into my Fortune Fairies, of course, they go off. Excuse me. And they can trigger their effects. God, I'm so sleepy for some weird reason. Alright, we're going to move on. Magical Dimension allows me to get some more of the Fortune Fairies on the field from my hand. I can even combine this with Dark Magician of Chaos so that D-Mock can hit the field with ease and I don't have to wait for a double tribute. And then I can also take out some of my opponent's stuff as well. The Secret Village of the Spellcasters in Terraforming. Well, now that the format has changed, Terraforming is officially at 1, and so is Metaverse. I don't own Metaverse, but I do own Terraforming. So I ended up dropping a Secret Village from 3 to 2, because that way I still have enough draw power to get to it, and I have Terraforming to help me get to it as well. So, ooh, excuse me. And then, of course, the Secret Village itself. Your opponent can't play any spell cards while you control a spellcaster type monster. You can't play any spell cards unless you control a spellcaster type monster. So it's a reap versus reward situation with the field spell. But overall, it helps accomplish what it can, and that's preventing your opponent from using spell cards, especially if their deck doesn't have any spellcasters in it. And then moving alongside from that and Terraforming, the only other two are Upstart Goblin and Regeki. Regeki to clear the board, and Upstart is just that additional draw. Yeah, it gives them 1,000 life points, but it's whatever. At least I can draw into something. And then make those 1,000 points go away. Alright. Sorry about that. I don't know why I'm so sleepy, but I guess I am. We're going to the extra deck. Daybreaker, the shiny magical warrior, is here because of the fact that it's really accessible with spellcasters. He gains a counter every time a spellcaster touches something to an area he points to. For each counter, he'll gain 300 points of attack, and then he can either remove 2 counters from himself to destroy a card on the field, or let's see what his other effect is. No, he gains the counters, I believe, from the others. Yeah, he points to. You only activate each effect a turn, which is perfectly fine. But hey, if you can clear out some stuff, that's perfectly fine. Ain't nothing on my back to worry about. Alright, so we'll move on from Daybreaker, which I'm running at 2 for the advantage. I ended up taking out and then, oh, I'm sorry, I'm missing like all the other ones. Nightmare Phoenix, Nightmare Cerberus. Why these cards are co-linked to cards? The cards that cannot be destroyed by battle with Phoenix and card effect with Cerberus. When they're special summoned, they're easy discards to destroy specific stuff on the field. Phoenix destroys cells and traps. Cerberus destroys monsters that are in the main monster. So I should point that out as well. So that is Phoenix and Cerberus. Just some quick and easy get tos. Same thing with Almerich. Almerich is one of the newest Salamander Great Monsters, but the crazy thing about him is that he works with any deck. He has the ability so he just needs someone with 1,000 attack or less that was normal summon, which this deck has a ton of those. Then, if a monster who was normal summon is sent to the graveyard this turn, he can summon this up to the board, which helps there. This is a really easy float, and a really easy floating monster because of his effect and everything. I don't think I'll ever use him because he really, well, I don't ever swing with him because he has only 0 attack, but just an additional link monster to help get some additional plays off is great. And that is what I enjoy about running the cards like him. If I had some Link Karibo, I definitely fit them in here, but unfortunately, I don't have any Link Karibo. Guess we'll just move on to the last 2 Link monsters. Of course, is Beryl Sword Dragon and Sarajuja Skull Dread. 2 monsters that a lot of players love and enjoy playing. Depending on what your deck is, I think for the most part, you're probably just going to have Beryl Sword in your extra deck for those just in case moments. And then Sarajuja is that hand correction, that attack boost. There's a lot of positive things about Sarajuja. And they're both dragons. So that is it for the Link 4s. As Sarajuja tries to run away. For the really much whatever you can fit into your extra deck counts at that point. For like synchros and exceeds and links. But I'm running the Archetype Magician because it's Spellcasters, level 7. If I compare it well with Fortune, with Effect Valley would have good enough Fortune. Well, pretty much if I can combine enough monsters with Fortune. Or not enough Fortune Fairies with Effect Veiler, I can easily get to Arcanite. Arcanite has his counters and stuff. And just a nice body to float around with. Archetype Knight to blow away spells and to blow away cards on the field. Abyss Dweller to deal with the graveyard. Cowboy for the 800 points of damage. Downer Magician, Slacker Magician. Pretty much a combination of themselves. While Slacker has some material, once a turn she can detach one of them to not be destroyed by battle or card effects. And the crazy thing about it is that you can put Downer Magician or any level 3 or lower Exceed monster at you can put her on top of them, and she'll gain their material as hers. She'll have 200 attack for each material, and then if she battles opponent's monster, she'll inflict piercing damage, and then she can easily and she'll detach the material during the end of the damage. If she has any material. So, yeah, she really just gains her effects through having material. And then Gachi Gentetsu for those additional points. He can protect himself from being destroyed by our card effects, which helps as well, but he'll lose his attack and defense buff. Yeah. Everything comes at a price. And then Levier to help with anything that was banished off, and then putting it back on into the field. That does include your opponents. So that's pretty much it for that profile, everybody. I hope you guys enjoy my variation of Fortune Fairies. I'll hopefully have some more combinations and crazy things later on. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell if you guys want to be informed of when I do my updates and some of my live streams. And I'll catch you guys next time. HBJ, signing out. Take care.